safe from.
In this world, there are heroes.
I feel the pain in my city wherever I go.
And there are villains. Heroes don't kill people.
Well, I do.
Hello everyone, my name is Naz Perez and I am sitting here with the cast of the highly anticipated Black Adam. And can I just say, I feel like you can cut the charisma in this room with a knife. I mean, like, what a cast.
Look at them.
This is a huge deal, guys, for everybody watching and everyone sitting here right now, because I don't know if a lot of people know this, but when it comes to like big superhero team-ups, before there ever was the Justice League or the Avengers or Fantastic Four, there was the Justice Society of America. They were the very first superhero team in comic book history.
How cool is that,
It's
right?
so cool. And thanks to you guys, we get to see them on the big screen in live action, which I think is just so huge. So I just wanted to take a second to sort of let that marinate. But Dwayne, I know you've
Thank you, by the way, Naz, for saying that, because a lot of times, like a lot of people don't know that JSA predated, Justice League and you name it. So yeah, thank you for pointing that out.
Of course, and you guys look great too. Like, wow, it did not land the way I wanted it to. But Dwayne,
It was good.
It was.
It was good.
Right. Dwayne, you've been working on this movie for like 10 years, and you've been in over 40 films, and you've played everything from a Scorpion King to a Tooth Fairy. Yeah. And I know, growing up as a kid, you
I'm sorry,
always
Naz.
wanted
1
to be
second. I'm
super-
sorry. What? I'm sorry. What the? Why? What was the giggle? Did you hear that?
Giggle.
Like that was like a judgy, judging.
No, just the prettiest tooth fairy ever.
It was supportive. It was supportive. I heard.
It was supportive. Did you hear supportive?
It was like, haha, that was awesome.
I didn't get that.
That's kind of, I felt that.
When I see Dwayne Johnson, I immediately think of that role.
Yeah, just Tooth Fairy. Okay.
100%.
All right, I'm so sorry.
No,
So
it's
Scorpion
okay.
King, Tooth
I'm
Fairy.
sorry, that was
Really, all your characters, because there's been so many different incarnations of your characters in various source material. Before we dive deep, I just wanted to go around real quick and maybe tell us 1 or 2 sentences on how your character relates to Black Adam in this movie. And we'll start with you, Quintessa.
Hard question.
How Cyclone relates to
Black Adam in this movie, yeah.
Well, I feel like it's throughout the film. There's just this overarching question of, what it takes to liberate a people and provide freedom. And I think Cyclone questions that and relates to Black Adam in that way.
Pierce, how does Dr. Fate relate to Black Adam in this movie?
Dr. Fate relates with caution. He's a man who can foresee the future. He's a man who is bestowed with this power of the helmet of Nabu, which is kind of a blessing and a curse to him. It's an addiction in some respects. And he's a man that, has a deep friendship with Hawkman, who I respect. I'm the elder of the quartet. And he has his own secrets at the beginning of the film, which is his own personal journey as well. So that really intrigued me. And that this is the first time you really see the character of Kent Nelson portrayed on film as Dr. Fate.
By the way, I do want to point out that first time you see all of these characters for the first time on film together, especially since they've been around for decades and decades, so it's really cool.
No, it's huge deal. And Dr. Fate's such a fan favorite. People are so excited to see you in that role. Noah, tell us how Adam Smasher relates to Black Adam.
He has an open mind, and he's very excited to be a part of the Justice Society. And then he meets Black Adam, and Black Adam has an entirely new take on what is good and what is right, one that differs quite strongly from the Justice Society. And I think that is something that Adam Smasher really admires in Black Adam. So he sees in this man, or in this god, not just a villain, but maybe a different take on justice, maybe a more accurate one.
Yeah.
Aldis,
Yeah.
are Hawkman and Black Adam friends? What's going on there?
It's almost there's almost a similar nature to what you said. I mean, Hawkman is leader of the JSA. Through his time, he has had to define and redefine what justice is to him, and that's what he leads with. But when he engages Black Adam challenges what that definition is. It challenges his theories, his thoughts, because of the fact that even though he does what he does, he believes in what he does, and he moves to the beat of his own drum, Black Adam walks to his own rhythm as well. And I think there's sort of a, even though they're adversaries, I believe there's a sense of respect because there's a sense of recognition in one another.
I love that.
Well
Aldis,
said.
I love that you
Yeah.
said challenge, because I feel like when you get a bunch of superheroes in a room together, it's highly unlikely they're all going to get along or be on the same page. Do we get to see you guys fight each other?
Oh, they all sing Kumbaya. They have
There's a
s'mores.
campfire involved.
Yeah, this
Ukulele, I
exactly.
believe.
We go at it.
You know, yeah.
Wow.
We go at it. Well,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the goal, not only did Black Adam and Hawkman go at it, we also wanted to make sure that we were, as best we could, paying homage to mythology and the comic mythology. So yeah, we have to go at it, but
Yep.
also, it's the intention of the entire JSA to stop Black Adam and
Yeah.
put him away.
I love that you
Exactly.
brought up the mythology, Dwayne, because my favorite line Black Adam says in the JSA Black Rain comic is the present can never be agreed upon.
Yes.
And I love that line so much because he's such an anti-hero, and because I personally feel like, Dwayne, you are just like as wholesome as apple pie to me.
Tooth fairies, baby.
Tooth fairies.
Tooth fairies.
I wanted to ask you, because Black Adam, straddles that line of good and bad in a similar way that you did in your wrestling days, turning from a face to a heel a few
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
Did you feel close to that wrestling character at all, or tap into it to sort of get that balance of good and bad for Black Adam?
Oh, that's interesting. Yes, it wasn't my lead foot when thinking about the character and standing him up on its feet and breathing life into him. But no doubt my experience as a pro wrestler, where I would continuously straddle the line of good and bad, and eventually it got to a place in that world of pro wrestling where it was just an accepted thing that when the character of The Rock comes out, he'll do things that might be questionable, but at the end of the day, everyone in the arena understood why. And that's how they left. So same thing, very similar to Black Adam. You may not agree with his philosophy, but at the end, you do understand why.
Wow. So there may be a people's eyebrow in this movie.
It might be.
Oh my God.
Slight.
Major wrestling fan,
Thank
major
you.
James Bond fan. I mean, Pierce, you have gotten to drive the fanciest cars in James Bond. You have sang in Mamma Mia. And in this movie, you have a golden helmet and superpowers. So I wanted to know, is this the nerdiest thing you've ever done? And what was really fun about this guy for you?
No, this was not the nerdiest. I've done nerdier, I think. This was a powerful experience to share with my fellow actors here. And Jama Colette Serra, did such a magnificent job. And there was such a good sense of camaraderie on the set between us all. And these films are monumental. The sets are the biggest sets that I've ever seen. I saw some big ones on the James Bond movies. It was a delight every day.
Wow. Did you guys ask him all the James Bond questions on set?
Peppered him with questions
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah.
So,
No,
Pierce,
they didn't.
let's talk.
No, it was,
We didn't have to ask.
So anyway, let me tell you about this.
Tirade.
It's so funny. Well, Pierce, as a 90s kid, I feel like I personally have to thank you for GoldenEye on Nintendo 64.
Thank you.
That's,
Thank
my
you.
childhood.
Same.
Well, I love that you said same, Aldis, because I know you have been a major comic book fan since forever. And when Dwayne called you to offer you the role, you didn't even believe it was him.
Nah.
When you saw the trailer, there's this epic moment where we see Hawkman's wings.
Yeah.
What was it like for you to see yourself suited up for the first time?
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, for me, I was waiting on the wings. I've been wearing that suit for months, and I was like, ooh, better be ready. Because, you can only imagine sort of the grandiose nature of what it is. You're sitting there. First of all, the day that we all got to set, we all saw each other in our suits. We were like, oh, it's real. It's cool. You know what I mean? It's happening. But then when you see it all put together, you see the trailer, that's when your imagination completely explodes. And when you're working on it, that this is something truly incredible. But this is something that you work on it and then you watch it, you really get to be a fan. You get to be a kid again because your mind is really just going all crazy with what you've actually accomplished. The magnitude of what you've accomplished is so huge. And it is really, truly one of those dream come true type of deals. So for me, first time I saw it full out, I was kind of floored, speechless, taken back, because now you're a part of something that is truly in its essence, in its full essence, something that has the power and will and can change the notion of perception, perspective, ideas, belief, representation. This is what the value of the work is, that we do art in its purest form. We get to influence and inspire. And that's something that, you know, this inspires true imagination. It inspires belief and inspires ambition to go push for those dreams. So when you see that costume, for me, it's more than just putting on a suit.
Yeah.
It's putting on dreams. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Oh,
That
man.
was so beautifully said.
I got to tell you really quickly,
Yeah.
just from my perspective, Naz, when I came on set and I saw all these guys walk on for the first time, as Aldis was saying, not only did it become real, dream come true, but everyone, all of my fellow actors here are also incredibly talented. All of them, I think, really embraced this idea that we could do something that's pretty cool with Black Adam and JSA, for the first time introducing JSA to the world. So they all came to set with this, and you could feel it pulsing, like Mana. I always talk about Mana. And they all came to set, from Quintessa when they came on, looking how they looked. I was like, oh my God, that blew my mind. And of course, Noah came on, looking how he looked in his. The Hawkman came on, wings and all. And then finally, it was almost like out of the smoke walked Dr. Fate with the gold helmet. Gold helmet. I was like, oh my, all of us were like, holy shit. Oh,
I thought you were going to say that the mocap suit. That's where she was going with nerdy.
I love it. And I love how you said wearing dreams. That was so beautifully said. And the Mana, because Quintessa, when you spoke at Comic-Con and you said that playing Cyclone was the biggest honor of your life, I thought that was so touching. Yeah. And because she's this character that's really trying to figure out who she is, I was wondering, how did she help you sort of come close to who you are as an actor?
100%. Okay, so with Cyclone, there's like this element of play that she like embraces, and just like even a really big part of that play was also in the way that she moves and how she emits her power itself. And so when I was figuring out what that was and what that movement looked like, it also allowed me to find a comfort in my body that I think as a trans person is very rough of a journey. And so as I like danced and I moved, I was like, wow, I can open up myself in ways that I haven't before, and like really embrace like who this character is and have fun on set and play with things and really just like open up in ways that I think for me as a person is very hard. And also as like an actor, I think I've, you know, been on this journey of growing into. And so having that, and also having Jama and like, you know, everyone honestly be so open to the creativity of like Cyclone herself and the way she dresses, and it being a little bit like circusy and just, you know, very different. Being able to represent that also as a person of color, where I feel like we really haven't seen someone unique like that, like, and just the way that she looks and how she has fun with herself, like, you know, just dressing and the makeup and, you know, like her costume, it was just very like amazing of like an opportunity, you know. So
yeah, and it's so cool to see you in that role, because Cyclone is such a rich comic book history, you know.
Yeah.
She's an update to Red Tornado, one of the first female superheroes ever. It's wild. Noah, when I watched the trailer, the first thing I wanted to ask you was, what is it like being bigger than The Rock? And did Kevin Hart ask to borrow your powers?
That's good.
Well, first and foremost, I started calling Dwayne the Pebble. When I was
Don't
bigger.
encourage that, Naz. Don't encourage. Oh, God. Oh my God.
Jury's out on Kevin Hart. I think you've intimidated him on the last press tour for Super Pets. I think he's still under.
He's recovering.
Yeah, he's recovering. Yeah, but he's also killing it on his tour, from what I understand.
You don't have to give him that. It's
Shout out
okay.
to Kevin Hart.
What are you doing?
Please.
He's also killing it on his tour.
Please like me.
Jesus. Just keep it here.
Also, if you haven't bought tickets yet, they're on free sale.
They are.
Aldis is going on tour singing.
Can't pay them to say
I
it.
bet.
Can't pay them
Jesus.
under the table to say it.
He's killing it.
You guys are like a family. This is
We are
amazing.
like a family,
If I saw
yeah.
Kevin Hart pop up in this movie, I would just die. But I know a lot of people are going to walk into this movie, Dwayne, wondering, are we going to see any Justice League characters in this movie? Because we know the JSA is a precursor to the Justice League, so is that connection felt in this film? What can you tell us?
I can tell you that we're just going to have to wait and see.
I got to ask you one last question, and it's about firsts. I really struggle with firsts and doing things for the first time, and this is your first time ever playing a superhero. Do you get nervous at all when you do stuff like this for the first time? And if so, like, how do you push through that?
That's a great question. I wasn't nervous to play Black Adam. I was just really so just keenly aware and present in the opportunity that I had with these guys who I consider family, the opportunity that we all had to deliver not only all of our characters for the first time globally, but also just the opportunity. I've been very lucky over the course of my career. So to be able to do a first like this, I recognize the responsibility of it, recognize the excitement of it. So I wasn't that nervous because I went into this like all of us did, just preparing our butts off for it and really making sure that by the time we stepped on set, we were ready to go as best we could. So I wanted to eliminate, when you're unsure and unclear of things and you didn't prepare properly, that's when you can get a little nervous. So I knew what this opportunity was. I was going to do my best not to screw it up. And also there's a responsibility that I had to them and to our crew, our studio, and more so, just as important, the fans.
Yeah.
So I was ready to go.
Well, that is a great place to end on. My friends, we are so close to smelling what The Rock and his cast has been cooking for the last 10 years. Tickets are on sale right now for Black Adam. Get your tickets on Fandango.com. Thank you guys so much for your charismatic.
Great job,
time.
Naz.
And thank
Really
you guys
good.
so much for watching. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Remember, Kevin Hart is.
Great.